Spiderpunk is a different version of Spider-Man that just so happened to appear in the most recent Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. Now, let's learn more about him, if you don't mind. Spiderpunk's story began in a comic created by Dan Slott and Oliver Koipel, debuting in The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 10 in January 2015. Interestingly, Spiderpunk's appearance was originally meant for Spider-Man UK, but everyone liked the design as a punk rock version, so it was reused for Spiderpunk. In the fictional world, Spiderpunk comes from the Earth 138, and he is not a variation of Peter Parker, but rather a variant of Hobie or Hobart Brown. Hobie's origin story reveals that he was once a teenage squatter who was bitten by a radioactive spider due to illegal waste dumping by a big corporation. The spider bite granted him spider-like powers, and combining it with his love for punk rock, he became Spiderpunk. Spiderpunk is nicknamed the Anarchic Spider-Man and Spiderpunk, though he doesn't like the latter title for no reason. In terms of abilities, Spiderpunk has superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, endurance, and balance. He can stick to and climb walls, shoot webs to swing between buildings, or entangle enemies. He also uses his spiked mask and guitars as weapons. He's a skilled guitarist and drummer, but admits he's a terrible singer, which he says is intentional as part of the punk rock style. When he performs on stage, he uses his guitar and rebellious attitude to make a difference. In this alternate reality, he lives in a fascist corporate America that has left the youth feeling angry and hateful, so they express their emotions through punk rock, which they use to rebel against the elite rulers of this world. And Hobie, who is a fierce and outspoken teenager in his own right, becomes the leader of this punk rock rebellion. He believes the powerful want people to lose hope, but he refuses to bow down to them. Instead, he'd rather stand up for what he believes in, just like his rock idol Gwen Stacy. Hobie's enemies include Earth 138's fascist leaders, like President Osborn, and other villains like Kraven, Kingpin, and those employed by Osborn. His allies include Hulk or Robbie Banner, who helps him fight against the terrorist organization Hydra. Brown teams up with Hulk and Captain Anarchy, aka Carl Morningdew, to take on different foes and protect their city. At some point, Hobie forms his own spider army to stand against President Osborn and his Thunderbolts. Also, Hobie creates a closer-knit team called the Spider Band, including Riri Williams, whose secret identity is Riotheart, as well as Captain Anarchy, Hulk, and other allies. They go on a tour across the US to take down the villains that emerge after Osborn's defeat. In one of the more intense battles, Spiderpunk and his followers confront President Norman Osborn, with Osborn's police trying to stop their rebellion. And so the comic rendition goes, it's morning in America, and President Osborn is in charge. Spiderpunk is ready to fight against Osborn's army, standing on a truck with his guitar and pedals. He calls himself a radioactive suicide machine, leading the Spider Army, a group of tough and daredevil fighters. Osborn's police come equipped with symbiotes, just like Venom. There's a TV ad by Oscorp praising the same creation called the Variable Engagement Neurosensitive Organic Mesh, which is actually Venom spelt out from an acronym. Osborn tells Spiderpunk that they're making America great again and won't tolerate him and his gang. They plan to sweep the country clean. Spiderpunk and his army don't have the same resources as the police or the media, but they have passionate hearts, love, rage, and powerful punk rock music. With their amps turned up to the max, they release intense sound, which happens to be Venom's weakness. Osborn gets weakened by the loud punk rock, allowing Spiderpunk to confront him. Spiderpunk smashes his guitar through Osborn's head, defeating him. He takes off his mask and proudly raises his guitar, claiming this is the day they beat the president with his cops and reclaimed America from those who wanted to oppress them. Observing this hard-earned victory, the superior Spider-Man from Earth 616, who is really an incarnation of Dr. Otto Octavius that has taken over Peter Parker's body, decides to recruit Hobie for an interdimensional spider army. Their mission is to stop the Inheritors, a dangerous family that feeds on the life force of spider totems from different dimensions. Otto's team joins forces with another spider army led by Earth 833's Billy Braddock, also known as Spider UK. Under Spider UK's leadership, Hobie and his team travel to Earth 3123. There, they convince the renegade inheritor Karn to rebel against his family and join them. The journey leads them to Loom World for a final showdown with the Inheritors. The Spiders overpower their enemies, leaving the Inheritors stranded on a dangerous radioactive planet on Earth 3145. The Spider Totems return to their homeworlds, and Karn takes control of the Web of Life and Destiny. After that battle, some of the Spider Slingers formed a group called the Web Warriors to protect the multiverse. However, Hobie Brown decided to go back home and celebrate Osborn's defeat with his band, the Spider Slayers, at a concert for their world's Spider Army. During the concert, they get into a fight with Tombstone Records over control of the free media net. Things get really chaotic when Spider-Ham 2099 from Earth 93,726 unexpectedly shows up. He says there have been disruptions in the interdimensional web caused by the Web Warriors. Upon learning that Gwen Stacy is one of the Web Warriors, Brown joins forces with the others to fix the problem. In another adventure, Brown helped defeat an army of interdimensional Electros with Gwen's help. They used a special technology with the help of Spider-Man from Earth 50,810 to vibrate the interdimensional web back into place. Later, they were captured by Wolf Spider, who was hoping to drain their life force, but they managed to escape and foil his plan. Brown also became part of a baseball team called the Amazing Arachnids, playing against the multiversal Wolverines. Back on Earth 138, Brown faced Kang the Conglomerator, who revealed that his image rights as Spiderpunk were being exploited for profit. Kang then tried to entrap him, but with the help of Captain Anarchy and Hulk, Brown managed to resist Kang's plans. However, Kang also told Brown that he was destined to die young. Shortly after this revelation, Brown was asked for help by Spider-Woman from Earth 982 to fight against the returning Inheritors. Brown agreed to join the effort. He reunited with the Web Warriors like Spider UK and Ghost Spider and teamed up with other Spider people from various dimensions, including Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, and a heroic Dr. Octopus. Together, they discovered a lab containing the Inheritors' cloning tubes in San Francisco. While trying to destroy the tubes, they faced the Superior Octopus, who refused to let them destroy the tubes. The Spiders fought Superior Octopus, but suffered losses when a resurrected Morlun attacked Spider-Man Noir. The remaining Spiders escaped with Superior's help and joined a larger Spider army to defeat the Inheritors and thwart their reemergence. In his own reality, Spiderpunk teamed up with Captain Anarchy to confront Kraven and his hunters with their dangerous weapons. After defeating them, Obi brought one of the abandoned weapons to his Spider base, which was in the Brooklyn Community Center. At the Spider base, Obi showed the weapon to his close friend and ally, Riot-Heart, who recognized that it was military-grade technology and very powerful. But just then, they were interrupted by news of Kraven causing trouble again. Spiderpunk, Riot-Heart, and Captain Anarchy rushed to the scene. They managed to capture Kraven, who then revealed he was working as a mercenary for an unknown person. The plan was to make Brooklyn as dangerous a place as possible in order to drive people away from the neighborhood. In return, Kraven was given weapons to fight against Spiderpunk. However, their exchange was interrupted by Taskmaster, who used a flash grenade and released Kraven. However, the Spider Band fought bravely, and with the help of Kamala Khan, they managed to defeat Taskmaster. And Riri's force field also protected them from a bomb left behind by Taskmaster. The explosion led them to discover one of Osborn's old bunkers, indicating that his evil operations were still active across the country. The four of them then decided to get on the road. They traveled in the Spider Van to take down these bunkers and anyone affiliated with the fascists. In Philadelphia, they found a bunker controlled by Kingpin, and with the help of Daredevil drummer of Philly, they defeated his marauders, and sticking to the punk rock theme of Earth 138. Daredevil decided to stay behind, but the Spider Band continued their tour, with the final stop in Washington, D.C. Their investigation in D.C. led to a public confrontation with Norman Osborn and his supervillain allies, Taskmaster, Officer Venom, and War Sentry. Hulk and Daredevil joined the battle, and they fought against the authoritarian villains. When the situation seemed dire, Riri connected Spiderpunk's guitar to her heart's power source. With one powerful stroke of the strings, Spiderpunk's mind-blowing sound blew Norman and his minions away for the umpteenth time, saving the day. Fun fact, it was a 10,000-watt electric guitar sonic boom.